Hey everyone, Lisa Hammett here. Are you where you thought you would be in life at your age today?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, it's completely different. It's a different story.
Okay, so if you're thinking that, you gotta watch this video. You're gonna love it. Happy Sip and Sparkle Sunday. Hello, Jill.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm awesome. I am
good
so
to see you.
excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited you're
Yeah.
here.
I've been looking forward to this.
Good. Well, so have I.
Yeah. It's nice when I sit down to talk to someone whose personality is as big as mine. I knew this was going to be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yes, it will be fun.
Does anyone not know me? Do y'all not know me?
I
Oh my
know.
God. Okay, so I'm Jill Edelman. I am a realtor with Abbey Holiday Realtors, and my office location is in Allen, but I serve all of Collin County and a little bit in Grayson County and some of the outerlying areas. I love the farm country. So if I can get out in the farm, that's my happy place. Going back to, do I think I'm where I would be?
Right.
No, when I was growing up as a little girl, I thought I would be a pharmacist or a doctor. That's really, I even took Latin. When all the other kids in high school were taking Spanish and French, no, I had to take Latin, and Latin is one of the harder, it's one of the harder languages, because I thought, this is going to be my path. My family is, we're very service oriented, and so have some people in the medical profession. And I thought, oh, that's what I'll do. But that is not what God had intended for me. So I was raised on a farm for most of my younger years. And I was the oldest of 4 children. I have 2 brothers that are adopted. And my family, we had a working farm. We had 200 acres. And we had livestock, and we grew peanuts and corn and squash, and then we had red peppers. They're crops that you have to hand pick. You have to hoe it. You have to.
Wow.
So you really have to take care of it, and it takes a lot of maintenance. I was the oldest of the 4 kids, and so I learned to drive a tractor at a really young age. I learned to do payroll at a really young age, and then I would go home and I would cook and prepare for the rest of the family to come home and eat. So I had a lot of responsibility. I was driving a car when I was 12.
Oh, wow.
Like driving into our little town to make a bank run or a grocery run or whatever.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how I grew up. Yeah.
What got you to the big D?
Oh, that was a lot of twists and turns. I got married at 30. It was my second marriage and job transfers, and that brought us to Texas. And when we got here, I thought, okay, I've moved. I think I'm on my 15th move in 22 years. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, my entire life, I've moved about every 3 to 5 years. So with my parents' jobs, and then when we finally got to the family farm, we were there the longest. And then I got married, and I thought, I'll never do that to my kids. I don't want them to have to change schools a million times, and I don't want them to have a home and be secure. Well, what do? I marry someone who wants to travel, and we move a lot. So I've lived in Germany and a lot of southern states. This is the farthest west I've ever been. So a job transfer brought me to Texas. And I have done so many things in my life, from farming and retail and marketing, and I've worked with business development, hospitals, physicians. And that's because I've moved so much. You have to kind of reinvent yourself. You go to a new place, and you're like, okay, I have to start over. What am I going to do? Yeah. And so when we moved to Texas, I actually went to work for the Allen Image magazine.
Really?
In Allen, yes.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
It was. Well, I'm a huge supporter of small business, and I received the Allen Image in my home, and I looked through it, and I had worked for Knight Ridder Corporation, which is a large, at that time, it was a large newspaper company when everyone was still reading the newspaper. And so I helped them develop a few products in a magazine, and we just did some really cool stuff. And I saw the Allen Image, and I thought, oh, well, I know how to do this, and it's community based. And I really love supporting small business. I wanted to get involved with the Chamber of Commerce. in Allen. You know, if I was going to go to work for the magazine, I needed to be part of that chamber. I was recruited by one of my clients.
Okay.
Into the medical industry, into marketing. And then I was recruited to a hospital who was one of my clients for imaging. And actually, there's an interesting story about that. I crashed a ribbon cutting and a what do you call those? Not an open house, but a launch where they're started. Anyway, so I crashed that. And I just walked in, didn't have an invitation. It was invitation only. And, you know, there were Dallas Star cheerleaders were there, and it was this big to-do. And I just crashed it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to get this hospital. They're just opening. I want to get their imaging services. And,
good for you.
Yeah, so I went in and I said, well, who's the CEO? And there was this really beautiful blonde in the room. And I could tell she was a little bit younger than I was. And they said, well, that's her right there. And her name is, you know, Ashley. And so I just walked right up to her, and we started talking. She introduced me to the president of the company.
Wow.
And they scheduled an appointment with me under the guise of using my imaging services. But really, when I got to the appointment, they were recruiting me. And so that was my first hospital position.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I went on to another hospital position. So I was business development for hospitals. And almost 2 years ago, a tragedy happened in my life. I lost my husband suddenly, and I had my real estate license in Georgia. And so I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? And when you have such a sudden loss and, you know, it's unexpected, you reevaluate everything about your life, everything that you know that is real and true. And, you know, and so I took about 6 months, and I decided I was going to go back to my passion, go back to my roots, and really serve people.
I love that.
Yeah, that is what has always been the most important thing to me. My family, even when we were at our poorest, and there, a lot of times, you know, my mom and dad didn't know where the next meal was going to come from. And we had 50 families that worked for us on the farm.
Oh, wow.
And they depended on us to buy groceries, to be able to for their children to have school clothes, basic necessities. And we always had foster children in our home, and they were constantly giving when we didn't have it to give. And I thought, how can I do that? Because life is so short.
It is.
And everything, as you know, it can change in an instant. And I just really reevaluated. I'm like, what am I doing? And I thought for a minute I was going to sell everything I owned and move to Africa. And
wow.
I had always told my husband, if anything ever happens to you, I'll sell everything we own. I'll move to Africa. And I want to serve in Naomi's village at the orphanage there and take care of those children. And after a lot of prayer, I thought, Lord, is this where you want me? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And talking to some mentors and other people that I trust in my life, I decided to take a step back and take some time and really listen. And listen to what God had for me. And I thought, well, while I'm listening, I still need to make money.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to sell everything.
Yes.
Yeah. And I wanted to serve people. And my husband and I had flipped houses before when we lived in Georgia. So I was very familiar, and I had my license. And I'm like, you know what? There's so many people that are underserved. A lot of realtors, but not a lot of realtors who really care more for the client and really want to serve that client regardless of the money that's involved with the transaction. And I knew based on my upbringing and my values and where my heart was now, which is different than where my heart was a few years ago.
Interesting.
I was very interested in making that, that green dollar and all the things that I could have, the big house, the big car, all the nice clothes, and now that just is secondary to me. If that comes, it's great. But if it doesn't, I'm okay with that as long as I am doing the best that I can for others in whatever area that is that God has placed me in.
I love that.
Yeah. So my favorite clients are clients who maybe have had a realtor or two and not been happy.
Okay.
The client that maybe is at that lower price range, so they don't get the attention that the $1 million home buyer or seller gets.
Okay.
And first responders and veterans that kind of fall into that category. So I'm told, don't say you have a niche market, because I do have those other buyers too, and I'm so appreciative.
Right.
But I feel like God gives me those other buyers because I serve people who maybe wouldn't be well represented otherwise, and I fight really hard for them. And I actually care about that family.
I love that.
So yeah,
it's like
today
ministry.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important to me is being used by God and knowing that every day I'm doing the best that I can for others. And today I was with one of my clients that I helped purchase a home. I was in their home. They were showing me around all the things that they did and a quilting business that they're starting out of their home. And it's just a really, really great feeling when you become friends.
Right.
With those people that you help.
Well, what an impact that you have on their life.
Yeah.
Because had you not been at that point in their life, who knows where they would be and if they would even be starting that business. Right. You just don't know. And so it's a huge impact on my life as well, because I think lots of studies have been done, and it's been said that, you know, we do for other people, we do nice things, and we're good to other people because it makes us feel good. And it truly does. It makes me, those are my best days. When I know that I've done the very best that I can for someone else, and I've made their load a little bit lighter or their day a little bit brighter, then that's a great day for me. I love that. Yeah. Now, how do they get a hold of you? Well, my phone number is the best. And what would that be? Yeah, 972-632-9318. That's 972-632-9318. Or you can find me on Ebby.com. Just look for a realtor, Jill Edelman. I love it. Now, before we close, share with our viewers what you have recently started doing, which is kind of fun. Oh, I'm very excited about this. This is so cool. I love this. So it ties into the work that I love to do for independent business, because that's how I was raised. Farm, restaurant, rental property. That's what my family, we owned all those businesses. Yet we were still broke. Owning business is not always easy. No, it's not. Not always profitable. But I started a podcast with Mark Friedman, Free Donation Productions. Yep. And so I do a business spotlight podcast every week, and then I've got a secondary one. It's Keeping It Real with Jill, or Real with Jill. We shortened it to Real with Jill. Real talk, real people, and a little real estate. I love that. And where do they find that? Great. It's on Facebook under Jill Edelman. That's where I post it. Perfect. And then the small or the business spotlights are on the Allen Chamber website. Oh, perfect. Under Allen in Action. I love that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, check those out. They're really fun to watch. So yeah, they're fun to do. Yeah, they are fun. I love this. I learned so much. I've so enjoyed doing this series because you get to know people so much more. I mean, when you're a small business owner, especially if you network, you know, you don't really have an opportunity to get to know somebody unless you do like an after hours event or whatever, and that's not always feasible. Yeah. So when you can sit down and chat about just anything in general, it's always just really cool. And have a glass of wine. Yes, because that's good. I know. On there. It loosens the tongue just a little. Can we taste it? Kind of fun. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jill. This has been awesome. I loved it. Thank you. Me too. So until next Sunday, may you sip and sparkle. Bye. Bye.